Good afternoon, everyone. I have filed almost 400 patent applications with the United States Patent and Trademark Office. Of those 400, about 200 or so have issued. But there's one patent in particular that really changed my perspective on inventing and changed the way that I think and about everyday life and how I approach invention. So I want to share that story with you all today. I've been really lucky in my career. So I started out as a software engineer at IBM right out of undergrad. And IBM has an awesome culture of promoting innovation. And so it was really simple to get started as an inventor. In fact, in the first 6 months of being an IBMer, I submitted about 5 different inventions through our internal process. It was pretty awesome as an individual because I always had this creative way of thinking, but I didn't know how to apply it and make it into a patent application. So IBM was really helpful in getting me to that point. But I also had in my back pocket all these patent attorneys and lawyers that are helping IBMers to make these patents. So even though I quickly became a master inventor at IBM, and I'm the most prolific female inventor in IBM history, I still felt like inventing was a black box. I didn't understand what happened once it went away. It went to the USPTO. I wasn't exposed to the examiners and everything else that went with submitting a patent application. So I'm very much a learn by doer. So I wanted to do one myself, and that's what this story today is about. So my story starts in 2009. My friend Tiffany and her husband Nate came to visit my husband and I in San Francisco. And Nate's really big into baseball, and he's really into going to every single stadium in the United States. So he's there to get the experience. He wants to see what it's like in all of these different venues. So I decided I'd tag along with them and come to some of the games. I wasn't a really big baseball fan, so I mostly just wanted to come to just hang out with them. So they had the awesome seats, and I had like the nosebleed seats. So here I am out in the outfield, and I'm looking down at them, where they were, texting them, like, how are we going to meet up? Like, let's get together and sit near each other. And while I was up there, I started thinking, like, why can't people like Nate, why can't he change his experience during the event? So why can't he sit in multiple seats and pay for those seats before the start of the event? So he could have this experience, because that's what he's really there for, is to experience the venue. So he could have this experience up in the nosebleeds with probably small children and crazy hot dogs being thrown everywhere. And then he could also have this experience behind home plate. He could see and feel and even hear as all of these athletes are participating in the sport. So that was my left field invention idea. And I shared it with my friends. I was like, what do you think? And they're like, that's a cool idea. Like, you should do something with it. And I'm like, yeah, but what do I do with it? Because I had been patenting through IBM, but how do I do it on my own as an inventor? So it just so happened that I was about to start my master's degree program at the University of Texas. So my master's was in technology commercialization, and it was exactly that. I'm a technologist. Now how do I take my idea and make it a reality? So I sat down with the other people in my group, and I told them about my invention idea. And they said, oh, we like that. Let's use this throughout the program as we do a quick look, and we reach out to industry leaders and we say, like, what's out there? What's the competition doing? Would someone even like an invention like this? And so we called up about 30 different professional sports teams, and I told them about the idea, and they all were very positive. They wanted to see it in their stadiums, except for one team in particular, the Giants. They said, well, why don't we need you? And I thought back, I'm like, why do they need me? Well, I better go file a patent on this. So I went and I submitted a provisional patent application through the USPTO. And then a year later, I converted that to a full-blown patent application. And I felt like I had the experience through my 100-plus patents at that time through IBM. I knew what they looked like. I knew that you needed an abstract. I knew you needed the specification. I knew how to write up a patent application, and I understood claim language, and I felt like I could do this, and I should be able to do this. So I did it myself, filed it through the USPTO, and everything was kind of silent for a little bit. So about 18 months passed, and I hadn't heard anything, and I hadn't heard anything. And then finally, I get my first response from them. And unfortunately, it was a non-final rejection. So I was kind of devastated at that point because I had put in all this hard work. I really feel like I educated myself. I went out and I learned about the process, but I had gotten a rejection. But I also, coming from IBM, knew that this was common. So everyone who I talked to, all the patent lawyers, said that a lot of people immediately get a non-final rejection. So I, pepped back up. I read through line by line all of the issues that were around my invention idea, and I resubmitted them through the office. This time I felt really confident, like, now I'm going to get my patent. And probably less than 10 days after submitting my response, I got a final rejection. Yeah. So at this point, I really felt devastated because this was my baby. And that's one thing with being at IBM and submitting the other inventions. I never really got attached to any one idea because I felt like it was just hard that way. You were more open-minded as an inventor if you came at things and realized that it's not the end of the world if it doesn't go through. But this one was my baby because this was me for the first time taking it and pushing it through the process. So I wasn't going to take no for an answer. I mean, I was okay taking no for an answer, but I really wanted to understand why that no happened to me. So I did some research online, and I found out about this hotline, the Inventor Assistance Center hotline. And I called them, and I started talking about my experience and what I had gone through and how I swear I adjusted everything, and I was going to meet every single reason for rejection, so why wasn't my patent issued? And the person on the phone said, well, we can't get into specifics, we can't talk about your specific case, but why don't you reach out and talk to the examiner? So the examiner, for those of you who aren't familiar with that term, is kind of like the person assigned to your invention that they go through it, check prior art, they see if your idea is worth pursuing. So they're kind of a scary person. For me, it was kind of the person, I wasn't ever going to talk to, but I was going to really hope that they liked my idea. So now I have this opportunity to reach out and talk to this person. So I called them up on the phone. I left, a squeaky voicemail message, call me back, and I didn't hear anything for about 10 days. And then I got a response back, and he had apologized that he didn't respond sooner, that he was on vacation, and said, and we got to talking about my idea, and he was pretty shocked that I wasn't a patent attorney, which I kind of took as a compliment. I feel like I had gone through, I knew what the patent looked like, so I knew the structure that it was required. But because he didn't think I was an inventor, he just assumed that I knew all the rules and the regulations around being a patent, writing a patent submission. So after talking with him, he was willing to work with me and go through why my adjustments didn't actually go through correctly, and we got to talking, and he told me about this really cool pilot program that they had called After the Final Rejection Pilot Program. Yeah. So I had one last hope, and I was able to reshape my invention and submit it through the process. And about 3 months after working with him, I got the smiley face. I got my issue. So this was so exciting for me because I had this idea from inception all the way through the whole patent process, dealing with office actions, working with an examiner, and now all of a sudden I had a patent application. So I was super excited about the whole thing. And where I am today, so because I'm a learner, I filed for an LLC and I started my own business. I have a website, splittix.com, if you guys want to check it out. But really, I'm so in love with my day job right now that I can't force myself to leave it to go work on split ticks full time. But it was just that process of going through the patent process on my own as an inventor and spending, it was about $1,000 to do myself. Whereas if I had gone through a patent attorney, it probably would have been about $15,000. So just knowing that anybody can do this and anyone can submit a patent application was really important to me. So I'm not sure how to play this with just the clicker. Does anyone know how to do that? Someone else do. So I'm also a mom. These are my twin boys, Anthony and Nathan. They're 2.5 years old.
You guys invented a vacuum? Joe, you're so smart. Maybe you could vacuum that sand out of Nate's hair. You vacuum Daddy's grill?
Yes.
Is it dirty?
No.
Oh.
But I guess I want to show you that because I think that all of us have an inventor inside of us, and it's possible to go out on your own and learn and submit a patent application if that's something that's important to you. And I'm going to encourage my kids to do it as, you know, through life and understand this whole process because it is really powerful. And I'm also pregnant with my second set of twins. Yeah, I know. Thank you. So I have twin girls on the way, and I feel very strongly that all 4 of them will have patent applications before they're in high school.